Jalen Hurts expected to go ahead and play on Sunday against the Giants. Brian Daboll says no to resting starters, and Josh Sweat gives an update on when he could return. I'm Thomas Mott. This is The Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Monday. Listen, yesterday was a bummer. Did a whole show reacting to how terrible that loss was, but I decided, you know what? It's a new year. How about a new me in terms of let's be positive today and go through some good news regarding Philadelphia and look at the National Football League as a whole, starting with this update on Jalen Hurts. You see it here from Bleacher Report. Title looks pretty good. Eagles rumors. Belief is Jalen Hurts will return from injury for Week 18 versus Giants. Sounds pretty good, right? Thumbs up for that. Quote, Philadelphia Eagles reportedly believe quarterback Jalen Hurts will play in Week 18 against the New York Giants. According to NFL Networks Ian Rapoport, the Eagles are optimistic Hurts will be available in the final week of the regular season, following his return to practice last week after a sprained SC joint in his shoulder kept him out over the past 2 games. Hurts suffered the injury in Week 15, missed the Eagles' Week 16 and 17 losses to the Cowboys and Saints, respectively. He's going to say, talking about how Gardner Minshew played well against the Cowboys, but was terrible yesterday against the Saints. Philadelphia desperately, needs Jalen Hurts back, and so on and so forth. This will be the story of the week. We're going to monitor this all week here on the Thomas Mott Show. They'll probably make this official. I would doubt today in an afternoon press conference. I would think more later on in the week, kind of a little bit of gamesmanship there, but let's just be real. After what we saw from Gardner Minshew yesterday, there's no chance that Jalen Hurts does not play. And the fact that he was out practicing and throwing on that shoulder last week gives you a really good indication that he is going to try to suit up. And it's Jalen Hurts, one of the toughest, most driven guys in the National Football League, and he understands what's at stake. I mean, this whole idea that Philadelphia is in serious trouble and Philadelphia is going to, lose the first round of the playoffs, blah, 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 that all goes away. If Hurts comes in, they dominate the Giants, lock up the 1 seed. All that, negative energy goes away because Philadelphia would be feeling very, very good about that. So I think he's going to play. I'll obviously have an update whenever he officially announces, whenever the team officially announces he's going to go ahead and play, but I would give this a 99.99% chance that Hurts plays on Sunday and wins against the Giants. I feel very confident about that. Now, speaking of which, I feel so confident that I'm giving you guys this FanDuel promo one more time, maybe a couple more times here next couple of weeks, but the new customer, no sweat first bet up to $1,000 back in free bets. For instance, if you bet on Philadelphia yesterday and they lost, you would go ahead and get your your bet back, in free bets if you used my promo. Very simple, down below in the description box. Make your first $10 deposit after signing up. Place that bet. Get $1,000 back in free bets if you don't win. Expire within 14 days. Got to be 21 plus and in a legal state. Really cool promo here with FanDuel, and they would have helped you out the past 2 weeks if you would have used my link down below right now. Okay, let's go over here to the Josh Sweat injury update. This is a tweet that came out late last night. It looks pretty good. Quote, thank you for your prayers and support. I'll be back this season. End quote. And so, looks like the update here from Brandon Lee Gouton was that Josh Sweat has been hospitalized by his movement in all his extremities per the Eagles, and it was a precautionary measure to hospitalize him, more so just to make sure that he was going to be good to go, because you want to do more than you need to just to be, just in case with these sort of head, neck, spine sort of injuries. Now, he does say, I'll be back this season. I'd be shocked if he plays on Sunday. They don't necessarily need him. That's not a knock on Sweat. Sweat's been fantastic this year, and they would love to have him back there. But Philadelphia set their NFL franchise sack record yesterday with a bunch of players getting sacks. 6, 7 sacks of Andy Dalton? Now, they still lost, but they have enough pass rushers to fill in the gaps while Sweat is out. Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick, we all know this, but I would definitely hope that he's going to be back for the playoffs, and I think another reason why, if you win the division, you go ahead and lock up the 1 seed. Sweat gets 2 more weeks to go ahead and rest. Really 3 weeks between next week, the bye week, and then the divisional round, so he'd be healthy for that. So really good news there for Josh Sweat. Thumbs up for that injury. These injuries that keep popping up here, it feels a lot like 2017, and I thought about this yesterday. Remember in 2017, Wentz goes down, panic ensues. In comes Nick Foles. He dominates the Giants in the following game. Throws a bunch of yards, bunch of touchdowns. We're like, wow, Nick Foles looks great. Then they have to beat the Raiders for a clinching game to go ahead and lock up the 1 seed, and he looked terrible. It was a Monday night, I think it was a Monday night. He looked awful. Very similar to what happened with Philadelphia the past 2 weeks, right? In comes Gardner Minshew against the Cowboys. He plays great. Now, they lose, but he played great. A lot of yards. And then in a clinching scenario, they play yesterday against the Saints, of an inferior football team, and he looked terrible. Very similar to what Nick Foles in the situation was, at least those last couple of regular season games. But again, I'm confident Philadelphia is going to be just fine. Finally here, let's go over to our NFL national story of the day that does affect Philadelphia, but also is, in fact, a look at the Giants here. From NJ.com, quote, will Giants tank for Eagles? What Brian Daboll said about playing starters in final regular season game. Now, here's what he said. You got to scroll all the way down here. Bold is the question, and then the italicized is the answer from Dable. This is from a reporter. You're locked into the 6th seed. Dable says, you know better than me right now. Any thought to, we got to pull back on some guys this week or rest them? No. When you say no, is it that you haven't thought about it yet? Or no, you're going to play all of your starters? I haven't thought about it yet. I'm just going to enjoy this right here, go home and smoke a cigar, hang out with my family. Now, they go on to say, when he finished puffing and showering off the Gatorade, here's what Dable will realize. The Giants are on track to remain for a rematch with the Vikings in Minnesota in the wild card round. 49ers beat the Raiders in overtime on Sunday, while the Vikings lost to the Packers. Both teams are 12-4, but the 49ers have leaped to the 2nd seed because they have a better record in conference, 9-2 to 7-4. So the Eagles should expect to see a lot of the Giant backups, especially quarterback Tyrod Taylor and running back Matt Breida. The truth is the Giants left Jones in on the game too long on Sunday. With a 31-10 lead early in the 4th quarter, the playoff spot virtually locked up. Jones scored on a 10-yard run, taking a big hit as he went into the end zone. That could have been disastrous, end quote. So this is pretty good news. Now, this is going to be, again, much like Jalen Hurts, an ongoing story. We're previewing this here on a Monday. It could be very different on a Thursday or Friday, but I mean, they just laid it all out here. Looks like Brian Dable hasn't officially said no. He's probably thought about it. Saying that he hasn't thought about it is ridiculous. He has thought about it. But what do they have to play for? If you go to the NFL playoff picture, which I should have had pulled up right here, but I'll go ahead and pull it up for you guys right now, it's very clear that there's no real need for the Giants to do anything. They're locked into the 6th seed. They cannot get past the Cowboys due to record, and the Seahawks, Lions, and Packers are the only 3 teams battling for the 7th seed right now. So you're locked in right here, and unless there's some sort of, dramatic loss by the Niners next week and a win by the Vikings, you're playing the Vikings on the road. And let's be real, you'd much rather play the Vikings as a 3-6 matchup than the 49ers based on what we've seen the past couple of weeks. Vikings got killed by the Packers yesterday. As a very favorable matchup for the New York Giants. Also, Bucs have clinched the 4 seed. That means the Bucs will play the number 2 team in the NFC East, most likely Dallas, but of course if Philadelphia absolutely wets the bed next week, it could be Philadelphia on the road against Tampa. So, a couple of interesting playoff clinching scenarios that are going to go on in Week 18. All Philly must do is win. All the Niners got to do is win. They're the 2 seed. They really can't be the 1 seed unless they win and Philly loses and the Cowboys. It would take a lot for them to be the 1 seed. And then, of course, you have this 3-horse race to get into the 7th seed, and how I saw this morning, Packers beat the Lions, they're in. Lions win, and Seattle loses, they're in. Seattle wins, and the Lions win, then Seattle is in. So, test later on that one. But those are your 3 options here, which means it could be either Green Bay, Detroit, or Seattle on the road against the possible 2 seed in San Francisco. So we're getting a much clearer picture on the NFC playoff race right now. It'll get even clearer once these things all wrap up, but again, the main point here on a show that emphasized both the National Football League and Philadelphia, you just win on Sunday and Philadelphia's in. It's just that simple. So, plenty more updates coming later on this week. Again, you want to be sure to subscribe. I want to shout out all the new subscribers that have come on to the show. A lot of great stuff happening between now and the playoffs. There's a lot of things to cover, and I think that's the beauty right now of Philadelphia. Now, they could have won 2 weeks ago, beat Dallas, locked up the 1 seed, and what we'd be talking about for the next couple of weeks. So from an entertainment standpoint, it's more fun that they lost yesterday, right? Oh, man, trust me, even from an entertainment standpoint, I'd much rather them have won yesterday to officially lock that one up. As a lot of you guys know, I did get divisional round playoff tickets for myself and my mom, and even though I get a full refund, SeatGeek, Ticketmaster, all those guys give you a full refund if it doesn't happen, I still have the whole weekend planned. It was a Christmas gift from my mom. I wanted it to happen. So lock up the darn 1 seed, guys. That way we can officially know we're playing in the divisional round and having the entire NFC go through Philadelphia. That would be really, really good. Be sure to subscribe. Plenty more stuff coming up later this week. Trying to get some interviews booked as well, so stay tuned for that. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.